welcome in everybody. If you are on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is week 3 of Pick'em, and we have a great guest. You saw him last year here. You can find his work. He's in new episodes of Dark Ops and Red Sands that you can find on Amazon Prime. He is the host of your favorite D-list actor. And of course, you've seen him here on Between the Lines, Pick'em last year, the one and only TJ Wimbs. How's it going, brother?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course. So we were chatting a little bit before, just kind of things that you're up to. And obviously AI comes up, and it's infecting all of our lives. Obviously, on my end, doing video editing, AI options are horrendously bad. But so you're back in school, and you get something that from the college, right?
Yeah. So it's weird because I'm a freshman again for my 4th time. I just started film school a couple months ago, and in my cinema class, this is where it got me going. So my cinema class, we write tons and tons of papers on films that we watch in class. Like we just watched Singing in the Rain again. In the Rain, phenomenal movie. So now I got to break it down. I got to jump into the theme of it. What's this movie truly about? Yada, yada, yada. And the instructor, the professor, is a former English teacher. So he's really big on punctuation and grammar and doing things correctly and writing your own thing. And he also, when you turn your papers in, he puts them in a thing that checks to see if you use any type of AI or ChatGPT or anything like that to write your papers. Because to me, it goes against everything for college.
You're not learning.
You're not learning it.
Yeah.
So then I think it's after the 2nd week of school, I get an email in my college email from the campus saying, "Hey, having trouble writing? Why don't you try some of our AI tools?" The fudge? What?
That is
so higher learning, not learning?
That is, at that point, you might as well just print out your diploma.
Done. And if I don't get an A from my AI diploma, what the hell? Come on. So is my senior project at ASU going to be me just typing in, "Hey AI, make this film," and I turn it in? Come on, dude. That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, man, it really is. It really is.
Half the school don't use AI, but then the school itself is saying, "Hey, you know what would help you a lot? What's AI?"
The thing that's funny is if you wrote it with AI, it technically wouldn't be plagiarism. So,
because I'm not copying from anyone, I'm just taking a computer program, because there's no real AI, computer program's idea of what it should sound like.
Yeah, but because it's plagiarizing everything.
It's plagiarizing everything, yeah. So when you plagiarize plagiarism,
all of a sudden it's new.
We just call it last man standing. That's what we'll call it.
Yep.
The remake of the remake.
Man, that is crazy.
Garbage.
It just doesn't make sense at all. Why? It's got to be frustrating as an instructor, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Not
only does he have to look for just regular plagiarism, but he has to go through and put it through these things to see if anyone used or if a chat GP type thing used, or what is that on X Gronk or whatever these AI tools they use, and he's verifying that you didn't use any, but your school is promoting you to do it because you need help with your I need to learn how to write better is what I need to do. I don't need AI to write for me. I need to become a better writer, and I can't become a better writer if I'm using other people's shit.
At the same time, we watch this in day-to-day life about the product that we are going to discuss today, where the top 3 advertisers for the NFL are DraftKings and MGM. And what's the one thing they tell their players they can't do? Oh, use DraftKings and MGM.
Hey, you can't bet on the sport, but everybody else can, and it's going to be our leading provider for things. And you can use the AI tools in there to try to predict what the best.
Exactly.
And you think that they ain't got their buddy going, "Hey man, Billy's hurt, so we might not cover that spread. So Billy's going to go bet 10 grand on MGM and use the AI tools to."
Yep. Yeah. No, it is. It is crazy. And, so at the beginning of the show here, I always go through the ones that I missed. We don't have that kind of time today because there were so many underdog victories that I got absolutely crushed in Pick'em last week.
The NFL is staying true to last year where the games are super close.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have very few where it's a couple blowouts. Like last year we had the big ones, like Miami was blowing people out left and right. Yeah. And then the Raiders come out of nowhere and score 70 points. Yeah. But so far, all of the people that are doing it, basically the Saints are scoring all the big money. 95 points in 2 weeks? I mean,
which is wild.
But all the other games are 2-3 points. That's when it goes to MGM betting and all those betting stuff. Yeah. Remember, it's not sports anymore. It's sports entertainment. The NFL is now
entertainment company. Yep. Absolutely. No, it was crazy. So the first week I go 13-3. I'm like, okay, like that's where I'm generally live is, 10 to 13 wins. That's usually where I'm at. I go 6-10 this last week. And I'm like, ooh, that would hurt.
That's why when you hear some of my picks this week, you might be like, all human generated picks, by the way, all human generated.
No, I mean, at this point, based off of last week, I mean, you could, unless the Panthers is one of your picks, any of the rest of them are viable.
No, I don't have the Panthers. I'm picking my Raiders. Yeah.
I mean, talk about an upset last week, though.
Bro.
Right? Because they were down big.
So, born in California, Rangers fan, grew up in Baltimore, Ravens fan. And when they play each other, I'm just at the edge of my seat the whole time like this. I can't eat food. I can't drink water. I can't do nothing. I just sit there and stare at the screen and do this all. Because when they lose, my mind is going crazy. And for them to pull that off.
So
Thank you, Max Crosby.
I guess, did that tell you more about the Raiders or more about the Ravens?
For the first time, the Raiders are going into a fourth quarter and not completely shooting themselves in the foot, which is a great thing.
That's true.
But the Ravens are still broken from the playoffs.
Yeah.
They coasted into the playoffs. I mean, not coasted, but they were knocking people out. They were coming with They were just and then the playoffs show up, and of course, they played the NFL's chefs. So I mean, when you're dumping that much money in Mahone and his best receiver Taylor, I mean, come on. What do you do? I mean, all the cats are wide open, so just hit them, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's funny though is they only had 6 designed running plays to running backs in that game in the playoffs for the best running team in the league.
Well, just do like the Raiders are doing and just completely give up on the run. Just say, we're not running the ball.
Yeah. So, and then this year, right, between the 2 games, they have almost 30 carries to one of the most freak humans ever of Derrick Henry. Yeah. Like you can't even effectively use Derrick Henry. Like, what are we doing?
I don't.
Like Tennessee used him, and he had a broken foot half the year.
Yeah, it's funny because every time we get something new, a new coach, you're always like, yeah, man, something's going to change. But then you got to realize it's still the same family that owns the team. And I know they have that commitment to excellence thing, but it's more like commitment to play hard until the fourth quarter. And then, just toss it up.
Yeah, just do what you're going to do. Yeah.
Whatever. Things happen. What?
Yeah, man, that one was tough. I mean, especially because if you watched the first half, you're like, oh, Ravens have this in the bag.
Easy peasy.
Right? And then the second half, you're just like, is this the same team?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, it's just frustrating when you're a fan of the team and they have so much talent. And then just to see the team just like, okay, so you guys didn't, either everybody figured you out or you, I don't understand. Change something, fix something, do something.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely my biggest surprise at 0-2.
Yeah, right? 0-2. Yeah. And then losing to the Raiders in the second week, the way they did.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because
I'm a Raiders fan, but I know the Raiders. So it's like, I even told everybody I spoke to was like, hey, I'm diehard Raiders baby, but I don't even see him staying close on this one. And shocked as everyone else.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to watch it in real time, but as soon as I saw the Raiders won, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back and watch that one.
No, I was doing my DIY project, pulling a wall out and trying to make a bigger place for the entertainment center. So I got the TV is like weird. It's over on the side because I'm building the TV area so I can like putty while I'm watching the game.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, I always try to go back and watch them all anyway, but that one I was like, no, I have to go watch that now.
What happened? Especially if you call the halftime stats.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, no, that was definitely to go back and be like, okay, like what happened? Like who got hurt to allow this? And no one.
No.
They just stopped playing football. It was
here's the
crazy.
thing about this. If that idiot that the Raiders had in charge wasn't such a douchebag, they'd still have Carr, and Carr would be throwing all those touchdowns for the Raiders and not the Saints. But good on the Saints. Hey, Saints look phenomenal.
Crazy. You know, I'm having a hard time buying it though. Right? Because they had all these pieces last year and they couldn't figure out how to play football. Mm-hmm. So, you know, maybe somehow they gelled over the offseason. But when you see it, you're just like, I mean, I see it and I'm like, okay, like that looks legit. But then I remember that they played a lot of bad football with all of these same dudes. And I'm just like, I need to see more.
The Saints fans are like, yeah, but people who just aren't Saints fans who just watch Saints are going, there's going to be a car wreck real soon. Wait till you see it.
Right? Like you're waiting. Like if they go another couple weeks where, I mean, not
where they're putting up 40 points.
I mean, so like if they do that, you have to believe them. But I mean, even if they don't do that, but
last year, though, Miami did that last year where they were scoring some big points and then they would just lose games to where you'd be like, how'd they lose that game?
Well, but for Miami, it made sense, right? Because they don't play defense.
Right.
Like their team is made for track meets. Like it's just the first 1 to 40 wins, right? Like that's the way Miami plays. Whereas the Saints actually have a good defense. So, you know, they're putting up 40 and play defense. You're like, man, that could be a problem.
Yeah, they put that foot on the neck of the Cowboys, man. I'll tell you what.
That was enjoyable.
That was once again. Cowboys are my least favorite NFL team. Notre Dame is my least favorite college football team. I hate the Yankees and I hate the Lakers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because those are all the teams that everybody jumps on the bandwagon. I'm like, how can you be from Connecticut and be a Lakers fan? Shut up. Stop it. You've never even been to California. Just quit.
Fair. That's fair. That's like the Yankee fans that are.
Yeah, they're all bandwagoners, man. Come on. Yeah. You've never stepped foot in New York City, but you be rocking that hat.
It's a cool looking hat. It's a cool looking hat. I'll give him that. I'm not a Yankees fan, especially as a Mariners fan.
Hey, you know what? I'll even cheer for the Boston Red Sox if they play the Yankees. Come on.
Oh, I'm not a fan of the team. I'm just saying they do have a cool logo.
No, it's just one of those. You know, for years and years and years, you got these teams that are not afraid to put money out there to keep their guys is huge. Yankees, Lakers, those teams they do that, but there still are big time bandwagon teams, and I can't stand bandwagon teams. I just like when everybody out of nowhere, all of a sudden we had all these Oregon fans when they were doing really well. I'm like, what? You've never even heard of Oregon? What?
Right
here, man, stop it.
Yeah, well, you know, I think some of those people are because they like the fact that they have a different uniform every day.
Every week.
Like
I think they switch uniforms at halftime too, if you ask me.
For real.
They have more uniform combinations than my wife has shoes, man.
It's wild. It is absolutely crazy. And of course, you know, it's because Nike is their main sponsor and they're based out of the same town. And I get it. But at the same time, come on, guys.
Yeah. Now Maryland needs more Under Armour uniforms. Come on.
That being said, they still have no national championships. So, hey, you know, as a Husky fan, I enjoy that. That's like when Bo Nix came to town, you know, as much hype as he got versus Seattle, he's 0-4.
and I'm okay with that. And I got Seattle this week, so I'm good.
Me too. I mean,
what? You're picking Seattle? This is crazy. I would never thought that.
You know, I actually didn't have them when Tua was in the lineup.
Right.
I had this as Seattle's first loss, but with Tua going down, Huntley going to come in less than a week. I don't see that working out. Despite the fact they have weapons.
Is that his third level 4 plus concussion?
Yeah, and the thing that's funny about it is, so that's the third truly documented, right? And there's 4 or 5 that we watched. Like one of them, they're like, oh, it's a back injury. You're like, that's funny because I've never seen anybody crumple up like that with a back injury. Exactly. So even though it's the documented third, there's been at least 3 or 5 or 4 or 5 that we've seen.
This kid is going to end up with Parkinson's by the time he's 35 years old if they don't take him. I'm sorry. I know he's a great football player. He's a great athlete, and it's so hard to do it when you're in the top of your game. But he is going to end up with some serious mental conditions and some serious diseases going on in his brain if they let that kid continue to get hit the way he's getting hit.
No question.
I know he's young and everybody wants to see him play, but bro, you can't do that to a human being. You know, it breaks my heart because I remember when I was a kid growing up, my dad loved boxing, and we got every pay-per-view you could imagine. I saw all the great boxers. And then later on in life, I'm in Vegas and I'm working the Boxing Hall of Fame, and I get to meet all my childhood heroes.
And they're
half of them can't speak a full sentence.
Yeah.
Without drooling or slurring. And it's just like.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, you know, in football, they're just like, oh yeah, concussions, all of this. That's the whole point in boxing, is to knock the dude out, right? And that's not just like I'm stunned. Like that's lights out on the mat.
You will see people get blasted. Stand up.
Yeah, and they'll get to keep going.
8. Oh, you're fine. We counted to 8. You can't have brain damage.
Right.
UFC is better. That's why the UFC is better than MMA. I mean, MMA is better than boxing because as soon as as soon as your eyes roll, that's it. The game is over. We stop the fight.
And a lot of them don't go to that anyway. A lot of them
are, you go to the ground and you choke submissions. It's great. It's awesome.
Yep.
But man, with those and people don't understand. Yes, that's a big old glove on their hand, but underneath that is a fucking solid brick.
Yep.
They make that so tight there is by having stone on your hands. Manos de piedras right there. And you are getting blasted with that with people who are trained to blast you in the head. And your exactly. Does this.
Well, and it's not like that glove doesn't also add weight to that hit, right? I mean,
yeah, there's a big difference between a 13-ounce glove, a 15-ounce glove, and an 18-ounce glove.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
The bigger the glove, the more wrap they can put on your hand.
Yep, exactly. Which just makes it bigger and harder. And I mean, yeah, like it's and yeah, I mean, to your point, all those guys are absolutely messed up at the end. You know, they're
100%. It's just, but you know what it comes down to is making that dinero. The league doesn't care. The teams don't care. They can say it all they want. The only way they can prove it is you get 2 level 4 concussions, you're out of the league.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the weird one, right? Is how do you medically deem that? Because you don't actually see the results till years later.
Right, but you can see what the level of the concussion is by
for sure.
At the thing, if somebody is out, lights out, right?
Yep.
That's 4+. The damage to that brain right then, that second right there is so bad, and then you're gonna go, you know what? Hey, you know what? Next week, let's go out there and do it again, champ.
Right. Do work. Yeah. Well, and of course, and this one obviously was that, right? They never even took him to the blue tent. They asked him where he was. He didn't know. They're like, straight to the locker room. Here we go. And I would imagine, you know, obviously I can't confirm this, but I would imagine they put him on that 4-week IR, not because he wouldn't be able to pass concussion protocol. I'm sure he could, right? Like tons of guys have been able to do it within the same week. But I think this is one of those spots where they were doing him a solid by being like, hey, we're going to do IR for 4 weeks. And you get to figure out what it is you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, if you're medically able to play and you want to play, we got to let you, because we're giving you an incredible amount of money. If they deem you incapable of playing.
Down to. That's what comes out. And here's the thing. He should be able to go, you know what, man? No more. Give me my guaranteed money. I'll become a sports announcer and let's just call it a day.
So
or I'll go work on or I'll coach on a team or something.
That's actually the sticking point to it. Is if he just out and out retires and it's not a medically induced thing, he doesn't get any of that money. Now
so that's bullshit because he has those concussions on his record. It should automatically be a medical condition.
Well, and because those were on his record, the Dolphins actually took out an insurance policy. So if he gets deemed incapable of moving forward, they get $45 million from their insurance policy.
You know what? Let's do that for all. Let's do an all-encompassing thing. Every player in the league, everybody's in equal danger of getting their heads blasted. So let's just put that at every team, because that way they okay, we lose, we gave this guy $75 million. He got a concussion, he's out, is guaranteed. We get that $75 million back for the next season to pay for another player because he's gone.
Yeah,
it count against our salary cap. It shouldn't count anything, because this is the things that happen in this league, and players are getting faster, players are getting stronger, and I know they have these helmet-to-helmet protocols, but guess what? There's going to be helmet-to-helmet contact. It's a collision sport. This is not a contact sport. This is a sport of collisions. You have two people hitting each other so hard, it's like the impact of two cars hitting at 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, no, exactly.
People die in 35-mile-an-hour car wrecks
all the time.
These guys' necks weren't this freaking big around to hold their head a little bit stable. Half of them would be dead or in wheelchairs,
Well, and that's what led to this one.
How many guys got put in freaking wheelchairs?
Yeah.
Because they're without the helmet-to-helmet contact.
No, exactly. Well, and that's exactly what happened here, because it's not like DeMar Hamlin gave him a crushing blow, right? He was actually kind of just squaring up, and Tua ran into him, but he dropped his head, which is how you get hurt anyway, and then ended up shoving it to the side. And then, obviously, it was lights out for him.
Unfortunately, we all get trained, especially if you play football, heads up, heads up, heads up. But the natural reaction for a person is to tuck the head.
Well, yeah, I mean, until you've done 1 million reps of making that contact, but quarterbacks don't do that.
No, they do not, because you don't hit quarterbacks. Even in practice, they wear red jerseys. You run by, you slap them on the ass, say, hey, I would have had you. All right, let's go. Next play.
Yep, exactly. Whereas, like those of us that were DBs, that's just natural reaction. It's like head up. We're like,
head up.
and
when I played high school and college ball, man, they taught you were trying to take that person's head off.
Yeah. Eyes up, heads up.
I don't want to hurt anybody, but I want to hit you to make you go, you know what? Maybe I don't want to play against this guy in the next play.
Yeah. You want to make them take business decisions. Business decisions is what you were in the market.
I want you to know that, hey, man, I don't know if I want to run the play to the side because that dude hits really, really, really hard. Maybe we'll run up the middle instead of running to that dude.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. All right. So let's get into today's game. We got the Pats coming to the Jets. The Jets are a 6.5-point favorite, over under a 38.5. Both teams are 1-1. Patriots are not a good team, but they do have a good defense. And the Jets have shown that they can't stop the run. And the one thing the Patriots can do is run. So this is probably a game where, even though I'll take the Jets, I think the Pats might cover.
I'm taking the Pats covering. Absolutely. In this one, I think it's going to be another one of those super close games because of like what you said. You've got too many differences that almost equal out. And even though the Jets are favored by 6, I don't see them against that defense or their defense against the run holding it like that. Because, if you can control the ball for most of the game, you control that clock.
Yep. You
can do things with that. So I definitely take the Pats in a close one. But Jets. The Jets could win, but they won't cover, I don't think.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's, it's definitely showing that Rodgers didn't do any of the preseason, right? Because his receivers, his main guy, Garrett Wilson, sure-handed receiver, right? Great receiver overall. He's throwing the ball so hard, it's bouncing off his hands, right? That's reps, right? Guys that played with him, right? Lazard can catch it because he's used to it. He played with him. Yep. But Garrett Wilson isn't used to the same velocity if you're 30 yards versus 10 yards.
Yeah, I remember my first NFL tryout, and I felt the difference between a 5 and out, and then running a post. That ball, I heard the ball coming.
Yeah, the whistle.
I heard the ball, and I was like, I wonder what that is. Quiet. I was like, how did that ball get there so fast? It was waiting for me when I turned. Yeah. Absolutely. It's another. They can put some heat, bro. Those 5-yard, 10-yard pass, that ball is coming with heat.
Yep. And especially from Rodgers, right?
Yeah. Rocket.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get into Sunday. We got the Giants traveling to Cleveland, and even though the Browns are kind of a dumpster fire, man, the Giants are just bad.
That fire is even bigger. It's a big dumpster with a bigger fire.
Exactly.
I'm taking the Browns because something has to give. So I think the smaller trash fire beats the bigger trash fire.
No doubt. And it's funny because the line's 6.5, and I'll even take the points on it.
Why not?
Yeah, no, it is pretty terrible. So then we have the Bears and the Colts. The Colts are a 1-point favorite at home, which means even Vegas is like, coin flip, who knows? Colts are 0-2. Bears are 1-1. The Bears, on paper, are the better team.
Yeah,
we haven't seen it.
I'm going with the Bears myself. I'm taking defense on this one with the Bears. We talked earlier about their starting quarterback. I'm not a fan of him. And maybe something will happen and he'll pull that stick out of his ass and actually play and be more of a team player. And I would really like to see that. But yeah, the Colts.
I mean, that's the thing, is it's a coin flip for me because I like what Anthony Richardson brings. Right. He has a lot of athleticism. That team isn't terrible, right? Like they do have some pieces. They got a decent defense. The offensive line is okay. Granted, they're 0-2, but
we always say it's early in the season. Sometimes it takes some teams longer to gel,
Well, and on the Bears side, it seems like chemistry is getting worse week to week.
Well, I think with the Bears, it depends on what color jerseys they wear. And that it's like their mood. Their color of the jersey shows their mood.
So if they're in the orange, they're just like, man.
When they're wearing the orange, they look great, but they're kind of like, we're kind of melancholy.
That's right. Maybe we don't care. So they're
old uniforms.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say with the orange ones, they're channeling their Jay Cutler, where they're just like, meh, I don't know.
We're here, we're playing. Yeah, it's fun. We look cool.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got now this one. I'm actually excited to see this game. This one should be good. It's the 2-0 Texans versus the 2-0 Vikings, and the spread is 1.5 points. So, I mean, nothing. When you look at the CBS power rankings, it's the 3rd versus the 5th team, right? So this is the first powerhouse type of game, which is weird when you consider Sam Darnold's one of the quarterbacks in this game. But all things being equal, this is the first team that he's played on that's been good as a starter, right? Yeah. Now, he looked okay as a starter his couple of starts with the Niners, but you could attribute that to everybody on that team is an all-pro.
Bro, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Offensive line,
everyone.
So, I mean, you can put pretty much anybody back there and be like, I have so many places to put the ball. You take the ball. You run
exactly. Yeah. No, so
I might get a first down on that offense.
For real. Yeah, absolutely. I would bet money you probably could.
Yeah.
So this one is I'm going with the Texans on the road.
See, I'm taking the Vikings because they're at home.
I mean, and that's fair. That's fair.
Sometimes I do that. When it's a coin flip, a lot of times I take the home team, man.
Well, generally, yes.
It's just yeah. I agree, man. It's a toss up, man. This is good. I'm hoping that this is the game that I get to sit and watch this week.
It probably would be your regional game, right?
Yeah, that's something I'm thinking is out here because they're going to block out the Raiders. They're going to block out all that stuff. They're probably going to give us because last week I got the Texans game, so I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll get it again this week.
Yeah, because the Cards are the afternoon game, right?
They are.
Yeah, so you probably actually do get the Texans. Yeah. So
I'm probably going to get them again. So I'm very excited.
Absolutely. All right, so we're split on that one. On that one. All right. Also going to be an interesting game. Eagles versus the Saints. Saints are at home. This one's kind of crazy because the Eagles have not won in Louisiana in like 5 meetings.
Right?
And so that's kind of crazy in its own right. And the Eagles, they found a way to lose that game, right? Like there was some real coaching concerns really throughout that game this last week where, early on they decided not to get the points on a 4th and 4. Now, if it was like a 4th and 1, I get it. 4th and 4, that one's that's a questionable call. And, if you make it, you look like a hero. And if you don't, you look like a dummy. So that one I don't mind as much. I don't mind the aggressiveness. The part of that game that I didn't like is they moved to prevent defense, right? I hate prevent defense. Everything about
Raiders 101, baby. Fourth quarter, go prevent.
No. But I mean, that's how you lose games is prevent.
100%. Prevent defense prevents you from winning.
Every single time. And so as much as people complain about Saquon dropping that one ball, which we've seen a million times across the league, somebody starts to look upfield before they bring it in, happens all the time. If you honestly think that's the play that lost them that game, you were not watching the game. Because
you probably tuned in on that play.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, this idiot. What did he do?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, because I watch so many, other sports talking heads out there being like, oh, Saquon needs to catch that. And they're not wrong. If he catches it, game's over. But at the same time, there were so many other bad decisions that happened prior to that play that would have made that play not matter.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to take the Eagles on the road. And again, because I just don't believe what I'm seeing out of the Saints, and I'm sure that just has to do with me watching them for years. But, at the end of the day, if they prove me wrong again, I have to start taking them serious.
I'm taking the Saints, and I think they're going to put up just enough points to win.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what Vegas thinks too. They are a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, they're going to score enough points to win. That's what I see it. I don't see them like it's going to be. They're going to put up a lot of points. People go, oh, they really dominated the line of scrimmage, or whatever. But you know what? They just put up a lot of points, and that's going to be it. That's it. I mean, it's probably going to be like 40-36 or something like that.
You think they're going to do a 40 burger again, huh?
Yeah, I want to see them go like the first 5 weeks just like putting up crazy numbers, and then reality goes.
That's messed up.
Hey, that's where I'm seeing this.
Hey, I'm not mad at it.
Going to Nashville.
That would be amazing content for my morning show if they just fall off the map halfway through the season.
Wouldn't that be great? And then all the Raiders fans would be like, yeah, see, I'm glad we got rid of that car guy.
That's the thing. Raiders fans are so funny about that. Like, Carr has a good week. They're like, we should have never got rid of that guy. And then, like, he has one bad week, and they're like, see, told you we should.
Worthless. Because I was even doing that earlier, before we even started the show. That's what we do as Raiders fans.
Yeah.
It's bred in us.
All right, we got the Chargers headed to Pittsburgh.
Woo.
Steelers are a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
So that means Vegas is kind of leaning towards the Chargers on the road, right? Because home field advantage is 3 points. Absolutely. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here. My biggest thing is obviously the Steelers defense is amazing, right? Fantastic. But when you listen to the stat line of, 280 yards and 1 touchdown, no interceptions, you're thinking, okay, like that was a decent game, except that was both of the first 2 games together, right? Which means that offense isn't doing anything. Both their wins are on defense, and the Chargers are a good enough offense that just being a good defense probably won't get it done. I go with the Chargers hitting 3-0.
Well, once again, man, I'm taking the home team on this because it's such a close game. So I'm going to give it to Pittsburgh play. I mean, dude, those fans are that terrible towel stars going, baby. It's
no question.
It's a whole nother world. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that one.
And Fields does get the start again today, Sunday. So it is Justin Fields yet again. Okay, we have the Broncos at the Bucks. The Bucks are a 7-point favorite. That feels right.
You beat me to it. I was about to, and I saw you were still talking. I was going to say, that sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the Broncos, I just haven't seen anything that makes me feel good about them.
And I like watching them lose.
Yeah. I don't hate it. Yeah. As a Hawks fan, it used to be in our division. I like seeing them lose as much as possible. Although I will give Bo Nix one of the funnier sound bites where they asked him what happened on the interception. And all he said was, I dropped back and I threw it to the other team. one of the funniest presser moments I've seen in a long time. I was like,
no, man, no excuse. See, we had the ball. See, what happened here was we had the ball. And then I was thinking to myself, what if they had the ball? so I gave the ball.
Yep. Yeah. No, every time one of those comes up, it always makes me think of, Matt Hasselbeck when he was still the quarterback for the Seahawks. And we're going up against, I believe it was Green Bay. And, it was the playoffs going to overtime. And he's like, we want the ball and we're going to score. Right. And I was like, I love that confidence. Let's go. And then he threw a pick six. So technically he threw a touchdown.
He did. Right off the bat. He said it was going to happen. He goes, I'm going to go out there and I'm throwing a touchdown pass and no one can stop me.
That's right. It doesn't matter. My team, their team.
The other team can stop me.
So, yeah, no. So his comment kind of made me think of that. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So we got Green Bay at the Titans. Believe it or not, Titans are a 1.5 point favorite.
I thought we did the Pat game already.
No, Green Bay?
Oh, sorry, my bad. My order's different. That's why it threw me off.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, no, Green Bay in Tennessee. Tennessee is a 1.5 point favorite at home. Green Bay, obviously starting Malik Willis. This one will be an interesting game because Green Bay, I still think Green Bay probably wins this game. But
I'm right there with you.
It just, I just don't trust Will Levis to actually get anything done. D-Hop just doesn't look like he wants to be there, right? It's some of the least energetic route running. Like he's just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm collecting a check, I guess. Or maybe he's just resent.
5 or 5 in it. I can't remember. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like he's probably getting a beer and a hot dog at halftime. Like he's just like, yeah, I mean,
he's watching the other games. He's on his phone sidelines going, ooh, that Vikings game is good.
I wonder if I can get traded over there.
They look like they're having fun.
Titans are 0-2, Green Bay's 1-1. So neither one of them are, exactly killing it here. But I got Green Bay on the road.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay on this one.
The over under on it's 37.5. So they don't think any points are getting scored either.
No real confidence in that football game.
And this is one where I have a fair amount of confidence because of the opponent. And that is the Raiders versus the Panthers.
Raiders going 2-1, baby. 2-1.
Yeah. Raiders are a 5.5 point favorite. I feel like that's probably not enough.
Nah, I mean, this is good. This might be the one where the Raiders actually look good. So I'm excited.
Now they don't
have
not,
just magic to win, or the other team quitting.
So Bryce isn't going to be the guy though. They're bringing out Andy Dalton. The red rifle, or as someone told me on another show, the rusty musket. Yeah, because he's old.
Hey man, that's why you got like 3/4. That's why I always have 3 quarterbacks, right? So you can rotate them. That's the whole point.
That's exactly it. I'm convinced the Panthers are ruining that kid though.
Yeah, and they after this week they're probably going to be eliminated from the playoffs, so it's all good.
I think they already are.
They might be.
I think right now they are on the quest to 0-16. And do you get fired immediately if you're the one win that they get? It just as a coach, it's just like, you lost to the Panthers, you're gone.
It should go that way, but oy.
Or do the Panthers get relegated soccer style? Or they become like
how fantastic would that be? If let's say the USFL and the XFL was a little bit better, and then the 4 worst teams go down, the top 2 from there come up. Let's see that happen. I want some Premier League NFL. Let's get it, baby.
That would be hilarious. That would be. Besides,
basically they do that in MMA.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody tries to even if you watch other MMA shows, they always talk about what's next for you. You're gonna go for title shot here? He goes, nah, man. If I win the title, I'm going to the UFC.
Yeah. No, exactly.
This is a training ground to get better, so I can get back into the UFC, and that's what I love about international soccer is oh, you're in the bigger league, but you're not performing.
Yep.
But we'll bring Wrexham up because they're dumping money in their team. You know what I'm saying? And once they figured out, wait, we can just buy anybody and make our team better and make more money. Let's just do.
Exactly. Well, I mean, baseball does the same thing. You're not performing. It's AAA for you.
AAA, AA, BB, whatever, man. They got so many leagues in baseball.
Yep.
It's freaking insane, man. I watch freaking college summer league baseball. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. I mean, minor league baseball is fun, though.
It is, man. Bro, I used to go to AAA games, and I would sit over by third base, and I was the heckler.
Oh, nice.
But as soon as I got him, I was done. I'm like, I got you. I'm good. As soon as you reacted to me, I'm like, all right, now I can sit back and have my popcorn.
Well, like for me, you know, out here we have a couple of them that are close, right? We have the Everett Aqua Sox, which is close for me, and then our true minor league team for the Mariners is the Tacoma Rainiers, and the Rainiers, you know, cool stadium and everything, but the Aqua Sox is always a gas because it's literally like a hillside field in center field, right? So you could go and get your, you know, stale hot dog and a flat beer and then just go sit out in the grass and watch baseball. It's amazing.
Great. I love that. And I like how how the Orioles they have a scouting room only area.
Yeah.
It's like a couple bucks. You come in, you stand there, you have a dog, and you're probably going to catch a home run ball. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. Like it, and it's still an inexpensive way to go watch a game.
It is because let's face it, everything is really expensive right now.
It is crazy. It is crazy. There's no doubt. Okay, so now we got our game. Dolphins coming here to Seattle.
Seattle.
The Hawks are a 4.5-point favorite, and I feel like that's probably actually too high. That's too high of a line. And the reason I say that is Seattle does struggle against backup quarterbacks. Just historically. I don't know why. It's almost like they start to look past them. They play down to the level.
I see a lot of teams do that, man, where, you know, they're a dominant team. The Chiefs like to do this too. Mm-hmm. Well, they'll play just good enough to beat certain teams. Yep. And other teams, they come out and they just roll them. And you're like, really? Come on, dude. Come on. Like you saw that last year towards the end of the season where they needed those last 2 wins. And somehow, squeaky, 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 touchdown. Squeaky, 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 touchdown. It's like, oh.
No, and I feel like this game right here could be exactly that, right? Like it'll be a 24-23 kind of win. So they don't even cover the line. They win, right? They improve to 3-0, but you're just like the whole time you're just like, this is the most stressful game ever.
Yeah, it's a good that's one of those games where I can sit back and just watch and laugh because I'm not a fan of either team. So and I still have to have a little tiny bit of hatred for Seattle because they used to be with the Raiders.
No, that makes total sense.
West, so you know, and all I can do is I flash back to Bo Jackson Monday night, and then I'm like, okay, as long as we have that moment,
just running over the boss.
What was that? Oh my God, from Oklahoma,
Ryan Bosworth.
Yeah, when he put Bosworth, woo, in the end zone, I was like. And it hurt a little bit because when I was a kid, you know, I grew up in Oklahoma. My dad was stationed. We were stationed in Lawton, Fort Worth, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and so a lot of that Oklahoma stuff was in my brain. OU, Boomer Sooner, all that stuff. So I like Bosworth. I thought Bosworth, he had the shaved head in college, you know, with the lines in it. And I read his book. I'm like, this dude's great. And then then the hype was stopped when my Bo Jackson was like.
Hey, you know, I will give Boz this though. Could you imagine how much more hype he could have had if social media was around then?
Oh God, bro.
Right?
Bro.
Because I mean that dude was electric then.
Yes.
With the kind of coverage we have today, oh man.
But lucky for him, his acting career was just as good as his NFL career.
Yeah, well, yeah. There is that. I did
still
like
love him, though. I still love him, man. I still love Brian Bosworth.
I did like the car commercial where they got him and Bo Jackson together, though.
Great. This is classic stuff like that. I love it.
So this one here, I'm actually also excited to see. The Lions are favored on the road, but Lions and Cards. And the Cardinals look so much better than I was imagining they were going to be. Now, I still thought they were going to be a 7-win team just because they're a scrappy team and they had so many draft picks, right? Like after the 4th round, they had like 15 draft picks. Like, it was crazy. So I figured they were going to have some talent and be a scrappy enough team to surprise some people. So
that's how I felt about the Lions last year.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because all their young talent came in and they were playing so hard, man. All the rookies were coming in, busting their ass. They were doing great. And then it's like, oh, well, we got our paychecks. We had our year. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. That's why I'm taking the Cards.
You're taking the Cards at home. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I have to live here.
I mean, yeah, that's fair enough, I guess.
I can see the stadium. Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose. No, I got the Lions bouncing back after last week.
And I would love to see that because last year I was like seriously rooting for the Lions, man. Those rookies were playing so hard. I was so excited. And then when they wear their old uniforms, they look like a high school football team. For me, is the best. The complete just plain uniforms, I love that. It just reminds me of high school.
Well, and I mean, I appreciate the way they're building that program. And, like Dan Campbell's such a likable guy. Like you can root for him. And the team had been down for so long that you're just like, man, I hope they can do something.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, I like to see them, pull together like they did last year, and then really make a run for it, and upset a few teams that were coming in to try to push them around like they did last year.
Oh, no question. Yeah. No, I think it'd be amazing if they could, like, imagine how crazy Detroit would be if they actually won. Like if they actually got the ring.
That place, yeah.
Woo! That'd be something else. Like I'd almost want to go just to watch.
It's like waiting for the Cubs to win. You're like, ah.
I mean, but at least they finally got one.
That's the thing. So if the Lions could do that,
absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah, no, like they had some crazy stats, right? So the Lions have been around, I want to say since like 38, right? So a couple of years. They haven't had back-to-back double-digit winning seasons ever.
It's crazy.
Like you hear that and you're like, wait, what? Like, how's that even possible? They've been around for almost 100 years. Like, you haven't strung 2 seasons? They could do it this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd be excited. I would not be upset about it. I would like to see them. I'm a huge fan of underdogs. It's probably why I like college football so much. I'd like to see them win, but I'm definitely I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking my home team.
All right, fair enough. Now we got the Ravens and the Cowboys. Both these teams got embarrassed. There we go. I am also taking the Ravens. There's no way they could drop to 0-3.
It's something's got to give, man. They got it. Oh, come on, heads out of asses, please. Just come on, guys. Come on, dude. You're an incredible quarterback, dude. You can stand in the pocket, even though you got legs. You can't stand in the pocket.
Yep.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Yeah. No, I there's no way they forget to use a running back again. Like they have to be watching the same tape we are, right? I mean,
you'd hope. They might be watching AI versions of it that just makes them look good. We have nothing to improve on. Yay!
They're like, it worked on Madden. I don't know.
I ran this play 6 times.
It works every time.
Button, man.
All I do is hike it to Lamar and hit X a lot.
That's it. I prefer Tecmo Bowl. I just run all the way back to the end zone. And then throw a 100-yard pass to
unlimited arm strength. Either that, or you just select Bo Jackson and you just run around until the clock runs out and score.
The only team that had double running backs, baby. And if you gave it to Marcus Allen or him, it was a wrap. But I would run all the way back to the end zone, wait for
still score,
get open, and just launch that damn thing.
Well, I mean, if you were playing with them, I would actually take Bo Jackson and then run to my end zone.
Right.
It didn't matter where it was. And then you could zigzag across the field and score. And you're just like, come on,
crazy.
Man.
And then as soon as you learn how to block field goals, it's a wrap after that.
Oh yeah.
And then they had, who was it? The Niners and the Bears had that the tight end play that you couldn't stop no matter what.
Yeah, it was like a rollout, and
Nothing you could do. You could
yeah.
never stop that play.
Yep.
There was glitches in that system, but it made it fun.
Oh, it definitely did. I mean, you ended up making rules. It's like, okay, you can't play with either of those teams. Yeah. And so then you're like, okay,
hands off the controllers for extra points and field goals.
Yep.
Just let it happen, And then John Madden came out and everybody was like, screw Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah. Well, the original Maddens were a lot of fun.
Bro, the Saints defense in the original Madden, I would murder. They had the 4 sickest linebackers that, oh man, woof. Talking about some stats that they had punched in on those codes. Oh my God. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Wow. In today's Madden, they were all 99s. Like they were just monsters, absolute monsters. And speaking of Niners, we got the Niners at the Rams, and I think the Rams get absolutely destroyed right here.
Yeah, I got Niners 49, and Rams. I didn't have any numbers next to it, so.
Yeah, the Niners are a 7.5 point favorite on the road, and that probably isn't a high enough number.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Niners are like, whoa, we should be playing a lot better right now, and here's a chance to prove it.
Yep. Well, so and especially now that
let's just run amok.
Exactly. Well, and Puka Nakua's gone, Cooper Kupp's gone. I mean, Stafford's going to be lucky to not get hurt in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Sunday night football.
Major decline, hasn't it?
What's that?
The Rams have just gone into a major decline.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you knew they were going to.
It's just when you see it though. It's one thing reading it. Okay, they lost this, and this. Then you see it, and you're like,
Yeah. As soon as your players get hurt, because they don't have the depth to overcome it.
Yeah.
So as soon as their main guys get hurt, like there's nobody else. So, this is why I think Stafford could potentially get hurt, because he's going to have to hold the ball a little bit extra, time wise, just because his younger guys.
NFL can make a huge difference, bro.
Mm-hmm.
A huge difference.
Absolutely.
Hey, brother, I hate to break down the party we got going on, Bo, but I got to go pick my kid up from school. I didn't know this was going to go an hour.
Oh, my bad.
So real quick, I'll give you. I got Bengals over the Commanders, Bills over the Jags, over the Falcons, and then I think we're covered for the rest.
That is it. That is it. Brother. Right on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, brother. Peace.
All right. So yeah, we so just to go over the last 3 real quick, we got KC over the Falcons here. KC is a 3.5 point favorite on the road, and definitely going with KC. I didn't see anything out of the Falcons that makes me think that they are going to be that team. And then there's 2 Monday night games, which is a little bit rare, but we got the Bills and the Jags. The Jags have looked absolutely terrible. And so I'm going to have the Bills at home. And the Bills looked so much better over the first 2 weeks than what we thought they would be with all the changes on defense and, of course, losing Diggs. They seem to have not skipped a step, though. They are playing amazing football at the moment. And then Washington headed to Cincinnati. Cincinnati should get their first win here. Washington has, again, such a young team, new coaching, new owners. There's just a lot going on around this team. So I got the Bengals at home. And of course, if you are watching along with us, you can also bet with us right here on Bet Us. Use the QR code on the screen, get up to 125% of the initial deposit, up to 3 of those. And then of course there is a 10% bet guarantee. So a little bit of a security blanket for a couple of your first bets. So again, on the screen right there, you can bet right alongside our Pick'em show right there on Bet Us. All right. Other than that, that'll bring us to the top of the hour. We appreciate you coming along with us here. So if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. If you are watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. And of course, enjoy tonight. Thursday Night Football, we have the Jets and the Patriots. Have a great night, everybody.